Hi, welcome to Minds Behind Maps. I'm Maxim Luttermand. I'm a geospatial data scientist, and since April 2021, I started having conversations with CEOs, engineers, policymakers, researchers who all work in the field of maps, Earth observation, or just geospatial in large. My goal with this podcast is to talk to people who are building and using maps, from what it takes to render information on the internet accessible to a wide audience, to building the user experiences to help solve these problems. I also want to understand the business models behind some of the companies that, for example, are launching some of these satellites who take imagery down on Earth. In today's world, geospatial is pretty much everywhere. If you want to go to the new restaurant and find your way, Google Maps is going to tell you. Self-driving cars are starting to use geospatial, and we're using it to monitor climate change. For the past year, I've been doing this podcast as an audio-only format. I've been recording either in person, which is still my favorite way to record, or either on something like Zoom, where I do see my guests. But so far, that didn't make it into the final product. It was just audio. While I do really like the audio-only experience, and I think there's something intimate about only hearing someone, I also want to try bringing the video aspect now, and there are multiple reasons for that. I do think it brings in a bit more immersion and depth to the conversation to be able to see someone while they're speaking, but I also want to push myself to make this podcast better and try to reach a wider audience here on YouTube. Of course, you can still find the podcast on podcast apps like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or any other ones. All the new episodes are also going to be released just as the podcast audio only, but I'm going to be adding the video format to all new releases. I've also uploaded all the previous audio only episodes on this YouTube channel. You can quickly at a glance see which ones have audio only and which ones have also video by the thumbnail. I'll be putting the image of the speaker in the thumbnail when there is video. So if you don't see any picture, just the title, then it's that it's an audio only episode. This podcast comes from a desire to have longer form conversations with people. I feel like in today's world, social media are pushing us more and more to simplify things, to understand and boil down problems just to a simple headline, or to find a binary explanation. Things are either good, bad, they're right or wrong. I think there's a lot more complexity in today's world. Things need nuance, and based on my previous experience, I've changed my mind through hearing longer form conversations of people that, frankly, I just didn't really agree with. I want to bring this in this field. I want to bring this in my field, which is Earth observation, geospatial, and just mapping in general. There are more complicated technologies, but also societal problems that I would like to explore, tackle, and just understand in more depth. In terms of what to expect, I'm uploading on the 1st and 15th of every month, so that means there's 2 episodes per month. This allows me to find a good balance between regular uploads, but also taking the time and spending that time to find new guests and also prepare these conversations as best as I can to hopefully bring you some of the best conversations in this industry. You can find previous conversations and also show notes as well as other information about the podcast on the website, which is at mindsbehindmaps.com. I really do hope you find these conversations interesting and insightful. Cheers.